Okay, everybody, are you ready for day 2 of Patterns of Power?
Yes.
Okay, today's the day when we look at a similar sentence from our mentor sentence, and we figure out what's the same and what's different. Yesterday, we noticed a lot of things about Jacqueline Woodson's sentences from Pecan Pie Baby. Okay, why don't you take a look up at the board? Let's just quickly remind ourselves of some of the things that you guys noticed. So, I remember that you noticed there were a lot of commas in these sentences. Is that right?
Yes.
And we talked yesterday that commas serve lots and lots of purposes. And 2 of the purposes that we learned about yesterday is that a comma can follow an introductory phrase. Remember that? Also from yesterday's sentences, we talked about the role of a comma when you're listing things in a series. In this case, from Pecan Pie Baby, she was listing adjectives, how she felt. Teary, comma, choky. We also noticed in yesterday's sentences that there were some pretty specific adjectives about how she felt. You guys also, you also noticed that the formatting of real alone dropped down a line. And also yesterday somebody noticed that this last sentence, even though there were a whole lot of people in my house, I felt alone. Opposites were mentioned in one sentence. Yeah? Okay, so we're going to go on today, and I'm going to show you this sentence. Now, this is just mine. This is not from a famous book. This is just one that I wrote. So follow along with me as I read this aloud. Here we go. Standing outside my house, I got a spooky, freaked out feeling. Even though the sun was shining bright, I felt really frightened. You like it? Why, thank you. Okay, so here's your job. With a partner, if you have 4 people in your group, partner up. If you only have 3, just talk as a triad. And you're going to have a couple of minutes to decide, figure out, notice, how are these sentences alike? How are they different? And then we're going to share.
She also listed her feelings.
I'm just listening. What are you noticing?
In the second sentence, you also did.
Did we notice quite a few things that are either similar or different? You did? Okay, let's just share. And I'll write it up here. If yours has been mentioned, you don't need to mention it again. You're certainly welcome to do this if you want to let us know you have the same thing. Okay? All right, let's start. This table, what did you come up with?
Both of them list feelings.
Tell me, where are the feelings? How are they listed?
In the first one, it says, I got that teary, choky feeling.
Okay, so we're talking teary, comma, choky. So 2 adjectives.
In
What have
the
we got
second
going on
one,
here?
It says,
Bless you.
I got a spooky, freaked out feeling.
Okay, is that also an adjective? Spooky?
Yeah.
Yeah? Spooky, comma, freaked out. Is freaked out also an adjective?
Yes.
Yeah. Describes how I'm feeling. Excellent. This table, what did you talk about?
It has lots of commas.
Oh, yeah. Which one?
Like it stopped. It has a comma after every single place, like the setting, and it has a comma.
Oh, good. Can we stop there? There is a comma after the setting. Do you remember what that's called? That's one of the things that we learned yesterday. Introductory phrase, there's a comma here. Is that the same as up here?
Yes.
Where's the setting, Stefina?
Upstairs.
Upstairs, the introductory phrase. Yes. Good. Next.
In the second sentence, they both have opposites.
They both have opposites. What are the opposites in the second one, Abigail?
The sun was shining bright, but you felt really frightened.
Good. So we have another opposite. If the sun is shining and it's daylight outside, is that usually when I feel frightened? No, not usually. I'm glad you noticed that. Anything else? EJ?
I noticed that the settings are different.
Yes. What are the 2 settings?
In the first one, it's
upstairs and the second one is standing outside me.
Yes, those are different. Farhan.
After it says I felt really, really frightened, the second really it is italicized.
Oh yeah. This one?
Yeah.
Really, really. That's the same as Jacqueline Woodson's, isn't it? One more hand. Oh, two more hands. We'll do Ishan and then Stefina. Ishan.
I can see a period at the end of frightened.
Yes.
I can see a lot of periods.
You see a lot of periods. So you see that this sentence ends with punctuation. Is that correct, Ishan? That all sentences need to end with punctuation? And what about this sentence? Standing outside of my house, I got a spooky, freaked out feeling. It's capitalized.
After every period.
Yes, and there's a period. Good. Stefina.
In Jacqueline Woodson's,
Uh-huh.
it has even though and you also put even though.
We both used even though. Good. Okay, one last one. Colin.
There's two sentences in both of them.
Oh yeah, that's true. This one uses, two sentences, and mine also has two sentences. So what we do now, let me remind you, in your patterns of power spot in your notebook, we need to write today's focus phrase. Today's focus phrase, who can remind me? EJ, can you read it nice and loud?
I can use a comma to separate items in a series or to separate an introductory element in a sentence.
Excellent. Can you please write that focus phrase here under your next rule? Remember, we're trying to squeeze all of our rules into one section, so just go right below the sentence that you wrote last week.
I don't have to remember.
Okay, once you have your focus phrase written for today, we can put our notebooks back into our book box.